let me brief you on the executive coaching process and how it is different from the normal coaching. So, like Maya has already stated, so when we are talking about executive coaching, we are basically talking about sponsored coaching. So, where the organization is involved. So, whatever now I am going to talk, take that with that particular context. Before coaching, I will first go to a coach. In executive coaching, your branding is very important. So, if few of you want to become executive coaches, right? There, your positioning at the organizational level is very important. Why? Because any organization has a access to the many coaches, right? So organization is not going to take a decision based on only single reference or something like that, right? So organization has a process. So within that process, they will have this particular a few coaches, they will compare and all that. So the branding plays a very important role. The way you are going to position yourself, the means your website, right? So your social media channels within executive coaching, what is the specialization you are having, right? Because there are niche, like at the start of the session, we were talking about the performance coaching or the transition coaching, right? So because the organizational coaching requirements are diverse, within that, they will go for a very uh, niche coach. Means especially I'm talking about the large organization, not necessarily small organization, and that had happened with me as well. So with my experience, I am telling you that yes, so organization definitely go for more niche coach for the specific requirement. So this is on the branding and the business. Now consider that the organization has called you, means you are one of the candidates or you are the shortlisted coach, right? The coaching assignment is yet to happen, but yes, there is an inquiry and you are approaching the organization. So now I'm going to tell you the coaching process. Right now, just focus on understanding because this coaching process is not there into the coach study guide, but of course, the recording will be there with you so that you can go through it afterwards. Like in our normal coaching, there is a discovery session wherein you understand, you call client and all that. In executive coaching, there are discovery meetings. It is not a single session, right? So you have to talk to the coachee, to the sponsors, discovery meetings. Now, discovery meetings give you opportunity to develop relations, trust, with the variety of the stakeholders within the organization because the discovery sessions will not happen only between you and coachee because the first is the sponsor who is going to call you. So that gives you opportunity and a platform to develop a rapport with the sponsor and also understand the organizational needs. That is what exactly the sponsors is talking about. During that particular process, you need to be sensitive to the organization culture and values. So you need to be aware, you need to study that. And it is all available in the market. Nothing is secret. That is what kind of organization, what kind of culture they are having, what kind of values they are having. And unless you talk in sync with them, you are not going to get business in the first place. So this is the first pointer. Apart from you knowing the organization structure and the organization, you should have some knowledge about the industry segment. Why? Because each industry segment has their some kind of say specific goals and objectives and the practices, right? Means for example, if you go to the engineering industry, the engineering industry psyche is very different. Their focus on the lean management, cost reduction is very high. If you go to the software industry, which is more of a people oriented industry, there the challenges are different. So you need to understand what industry segment is there. Not necessarily you need to have direct experience of that industry segment, but you should be aware about the industry segment and the generic needs of that industry segment. That is going to help you during the discussion with the sponsors and the stakeholders. So the first step is called as discovery meetings. Once the discovery meetings happen and you understand the things, then you submit your proposal. It's very formal thing, right? Everything has to be writing, you have to submit proposal and all that. So but the proposal can't be submitted before discovery meetings, right? So first you understand what they want and all that, you understand everything, then you submit your proposal. Your proposal will have steps, means what kind of assessments you will do and all that. So like Maya was talking about the Marshall's model, wherein they will go for 360-degree assessment. So whatever is your understanding and your proposal, that is okay, this is the process I am going to adopt for this executive coaching, which will differ from organization to organization, assignment to assignment, goal to goal, right? So also your proposal will contain, right? So communication system, that is what will be the communication platform, communication system between you and organization. Why? Because in a executive coaching, because of the multiple stakeholders, communication and the dealing is very important. In a one-to-one coaching it is very simple, but in a executive coaching it is bit complex. So you need to give that particular trust and understanding and clarity to the organization, right? Means if one coach does that, right, and one coach do not include that into the proposal, the coach who has included that systems in the proposal is going to get favored. And of course expectation setting, right? So what is the organization means expectation and all that. So proposal making in a executive coaching is a very I can say very important step. The way you are making proposal, right, means even the presentation of that particular proposal has to be very professional. Means for example, in your proposal presentation there are spelling mistakes, for example, and if I am the sponsor, I'm not going to give you business. Like if you are not taking care of some small things, right? Now there is no relation. This is the bias. This is the absolute bias, right? But these biases are going to go against you. Why? Because organization has choices. हाँ, अगर मेरे पास एक ही coach है, means if I am having only coach, then I will say, okay, forget, means this is trivial matter. But if I have options, right, so I'm going to cancel you because of that particular trivial matter. So be very, say, C oriented, means in this means how the C will behave in the proposal making. So that is what you have to do. Executive coaching, 99% means even 99% is just the diplomatic talk. Means if I have to talk practical, 100% of the time will include assessments. Executive coaching never happens without assessments. Also, 360-degree assessment plays a very prominent role into the executive coaching. Why? Because of the multiple stakeholders, right? There is no single coaching. There is no point in you only conducting this test of coaching or the life purpose test of coaching, right? Because there are so many people involved, right, into his performance or her performance. So the 360-degree kind of assessments is a tool. Now there are many tools available in the market. Of course, you can go with them. Also, you can conduct your own small tools or form or Google form. See, the idea is not the technology. Of course, if you have the technology, it is preferred. There is no doubt in my mind. But even a small Google form can be created and the stakeholders can ask, you can ask some pertinent question to the stakeholder. You can collect that particular information. That is also called as a 360-degree insights. So that 360-degree insight with the key stakeholders is very important. And who are the key stakeholders? You will understand that during your discovery meetings. So assessment. So your proposal also should include that is okay. These are the assessments I'm going to conduct. Once you do these particular assessments, right, means of course, means I'm assuming that you have submitted the proposal and now you are the coach and you finalize the business with the organization, and then you conduct these particular assessments, including 360-degree assessments as well as the individual assessment of the coachee, both individual as well as 360-degree. Then you again debrief the sponsor as well as the coachee on the assessment results. So this is called as debriefing, right? So you have to debrief them. Once you debrief that particular assessments, then during the discussion, you will finalize the overarching goal of the assignments. Overarching goal of the assignment will not get finalized only during your discovery meetings. During the discovery meeting, they will indicate you, okay, this is what is the development need as per our understanding. Based on that, you will make proposal. In the proposal, you will state that you are going to have this particular process, conduct these assessments, and after this assessment, you are going to discuss with the organization and the coachee to finalize the overarching goal. Then assessment, debriefing, interviews with the stakeholders, sponsor, coachee, debriefing, discussion. Now you finalize the overarching goal of the assignment. So this is the phase one of executive coaching. So the phase one of executive coaching is called as finalizing the overarching goal of the coaching assignment. So these are the steps. Which are the steps? I have some pointers in front of me. The first is discovery meetings. The second is proposal making and contracting. Contracting is basically you signing the proposal. Then the third is you conducting assessments. Fourth is you debriefing the assessments and discussing. And the fifth is overall goal setting, that is overarching goal setting of the assignment. So these are the 5 steps what you will conduct in finalizing the overarching goal of the assignment. So this is the phase one. Now you go to the phase two, which is basically your coaching sessions. Of course, means in your proposal, in your contracting, means already it is clear how many sessions, what time, whether it is online, offline. So everything is already clear in your proposal and contract. So now when you go for the session, you are clear on the overarching goal already. Now each session will have its goal. Now we are coming to the ICF process. Till this time, phase one was all about executive coaching process, different than our coaching triangle and whatever we had discussed till this point in time. Now you go again to the ICF coach hat, and now you are starting the session, right? The session will start with the session goal, then evoking awareness, and finally the action plan, right? Now, in an action plan, what is the difference between a normal coaching action plan and a executive coaching action plan? The action plan of executive coaching also will involve some actions related to the stakeholders. Because if you don't do it, right, you are going to fail afterwards, which I am going to explain in phase 3, right? So your action plan has to be such that it has some relation with the stakeholders. So there will be some cross-functional project, or there will be some assignment or some work wherein that person will get in touch with the stakeholders and all that, so that stakeholders also will know, okay, that work is happening. So that giving assignments in a executive coaching is also stakeholder centric. Now, I'm not saying it is anti-coachee centric. Of course, the coachee is always the center point of all the coaching, whether it is executive coaching or business coaching or relationship coaching. But in executive coaching, additionally, your assignments has to be stakeholder centric as well. So this is my point on the action plan. Now, monitoring the progress. Right. So now there are assignments, there are actions, and now you are monitoring the progress. In a monitoring the progress, unless you involve the stakeholders, how you will monitor? Right? Because there is a understanding between organization and you have already conducted so many interviews and 360-degree thing, right? After that, you can't keep quiet. Now there is an action plan, and now you have to monitor it. So what is that particular communication mechanism you are going to have for this particular monitoring, wherein it is not a policing? The coachee is not reporting to you. You are not a boss of the coachee, right? But at the same time, you need to monitor in a way wherein the stakeholders get the idea that is, okay, this is the work and our needs are being factored in this particular coaching process. Again, in the phase 3, I'm going to explain you why this is important in executive coaching, right? Because unless the monitoring process, in the monitoring process, you involve the stakeholders, you are not going to succeed in getting the repeat business from that organization. After the monitoring, there is a evaluation phase, which is generally not there into the normal coaching. In a normal coaching, action, monitoring the progress, finish. Practically your coaching triangle ends. The 5th phase of the coaching triangle is monitoring progress. In executive coaching, there is another element called as evaluation. Why? Because organization is all about business. Organization is all about return on investment, right? So unless you evaluate, so one is measurement. Measurement is not enough. After measurement, what? After measurement, you evaluate. and then you present a report to the organization, either formally, informally, whatever is your agreement. But generally in the large organization, it is a formal report wherein you say that is okay, these are the actions, and this is how the monitoring has take place, this is how we have checked with the stakeholders, and this was as is when we started the coaching, and this is the current situation, and this is the to be. So right now here we are, right now here we are. So this is called as evaluation phase, which is a addition into the executive coaching. And in that particular thing, you have to be always be aware of return on investment. I'm not saying that it is necessary for you to write it in letters, but always remember that is whether the organization is getting return on investment or not. So when you will evaluate with some objective criteria also. Means the criteria cannot be only subjective, because if you only make a report of the subjective criteria, as the manager or the sponsor will interpret it in their way. So unless you will be objective, and again, if you are objective, 80% of the time they will accept it. Because see, in a large organization, no one has a time to, means, do you know how much time they are going to spend on your report? 2 minutes. I'm talking about the large organization. Nobody has a time because there are so many activities, right? So how to give that particular report, right? So there means how to highlight that particular objective points is also a skill. So this is all the executive coaching skill. So this is your phase two. In phase two, you are submitting your evaluation report. Okay. Now the phase three of the executive coaching is about communication. In a executive coaching, now the coaching has not ended. In a ICF coaching triangle, your coaching has ended. Means when you monitor the results ended. Now we have gone ahead with the evaluation and submitting the report. But executive coaching has not yet ended. There is a third phase of the executive coaching, which I call it as communication, celebration, and promotion. So in a communication, what you do, you communicate the results to the stakeholders and to the organization in a very systematic way. Means the idea is not to only communicate to the coachee, the idea is to communicate the results to the stakeholders, and also prove this particular point during the communication that these are the results, the root cause of the results is coaching. Now I will tell you. For example, you are coaching that particular person for some performance improvement or some business development, right? Now, that coachee will say, this business development I have done due to my personal relationships, for example, or some other reason. The coachee or the sponsor may or may not give the credit to the coaching process. Why? Because there are multiple factors involved in any activity. Coaching is one of the factors. So unless as a coach, right, you communicate that is okay, this particular means I have followed this particular process, this is the monitoring the progress, and this is the evaluation, and this is the contribution of the coaching into this particular result, then people will agree. If you do not tell, people may or may not give you credit for the result. But if you communicate, 99% they will give the credit. Why? Because they don't have time to refute, they don't have time to appreciate, they also don't have time to refute. So it depends on your communication. So communication in executive coaching about the results is vital. During the communication, give them the hint of the return on investment. Hint, not into the exact wording. Why? Because your assignment is also confidential. Na? How much that particular sponsor or the organization is paying you, you don't have to declare to all the stakeholders, right? But there has to be some indication, indirect indication, so that overall people will feel positive about the coaching per se. Even for the stakeholders department, if there is a need, they have to approach you. So this is what has to be in at back of your mind. Then celebration is also very important into the executive coaching, right? Why? Because once you celebrate the success, people always know. Why? Because during the celebration, generally multiple people come to know, because there is a celebration, right? either you cut cake or you do means the appreciation mail or whatever it is, whatever kind of celebration is that, it helps you in communicating. Now people know, acha, the celebration is happening related to this person. Okay, this person is basically taking coaching. So again, this celebration is a way of you communicating to the organization about the results. Means, of course, there is a benefit to the coachee and all that. But right now, I'm talking about the you and the organization and not necessarily you and the coachee. And the last step, right, of a executive coach is more of a business oriented step, wherein what you have to do, that is, you have to always consider that any assignment that organization gives you is an entry only. It is not the end. Now, once you enter to that organization, how you will explore that organization for a continuous business. The continuous business will come from high potential employee coaching. Continuous business will come from combination of the training and coaching. I will tell you why. Because organization will not afford coaching many employees, but organization will afford training many employees, right? So a executive coach, a successful executive coach, I'm talking about the worldwide, right? Successful executive and business coaches are trainers as well as coaches. Training, different way, different program, different topic. Coaching, of course, different topic and different hat. So trainer will have the trainer hat, coach will have a coach. But why? Because you have a customer. Right now, unless you exploit that particular customer for the maximum opportunities, you are not doing a justice, right? So once you enter to that organization, and a coach is always highly respected entity, right? So you are now already highly respected. You have already developed the relationship. Now, what you have to do generally in executive coaching, what you do, one business segment is training, another business segment is group coaching, team coaching. Why? Because the organization, like Maya has stated, organization is going to give coaching only to the high profile employees, only high potential employees, managers, general manager, VPs, CEOs, right? So this is called as executive coaching, right? Executive coaching is not for the entry level people, only training. So now, unless you go to the group coaching, you cannot exploit the potential of that organization. So one is the trainer hat, another is the group coaching solution, and the third is the individual coaching solution. Like that, you should have the uh, basket of the products with you, so that even if you are having 4 to 5 clients, you are set. With the only 4 to 5 organizations, you can do a very good business, right, of the entire bouquet of your services. So this is executive coaching, right? So remember this very clearly. People who want to become executive coaches, it starts with you developing your brand, and it ends with you having the package offers, you having the bouquet of products and services, and you exploiting the maximum potential of that particular customer. So this is about the executive coaching process and practice. And whatever I have said, it is not in a book or no Marshall Goldsmith model, nothing. This is what is my experience. So I'm just sharing with you my experience.